Okay, hi everyone. So if this is your first time watching these videos, my name's Luke, and normally this channel is dedicated to the Riot Races NFT game that is in development. But today I want to do something a little bit different. So I've created a two-part video series, and the first part will look at some crypto coins that either I'm looking at or I think are worth looking at. And the second part will look at some NFTs, so some future drops, as well as some NFTs that I currently hold and just think are really interesting projects. So this one is just a bit of fun. As I said, something I've wanted to do for a while. So let's get started. Okay, so the first project I want to look at is one that's in development. The coins haven't been released yet, but it's actually called Temple Dayo. And I'm just going to read a little bit about it from one of their Medium posts. So it says, "The purpose of Temple Dayo is to create an ecosystem that provides perfectly balanced exposure to growth coins in a way that goes far beyond simple indexed currency baskets. Our ecosystem will allow you to invest in assets along the entire risk spectrum with minimized volatility and downside exposure while enjoying high returns. This is a first in-class reduced risk asset that is not pegged to the US dollar. We have a pipeline of assets and protocol features that will create new, safer DeFi investing opportunities. Temple Dayo provides a curated range of sophisticated automated investment pools that allows users to boost their return, manage risk, or both." Now, this is something that, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it does, but there's a huge amount of buzz around it, and there's some really good ideas that the team is using. So, Temple is their Ethereum token that they'll be releasing. And as I said, the reason I've been drawn to this project is because, one, they've got some really interesting ways to avoid that pump and dump. So you can see on screen some of that more detailed information. But one of the ways that stuck out to me was that when you stake your coins or your Temple, you can then, if you want to unstake, you go into an unstaking queue. And what that does is it slows down. It means it's slower to get out, so it means that it slows down that pump and dump. And what I really like about this project is that the team has a focus on building the community. So when you go into the Discord, it's a pretty crazy place. There's a lot of interesting ways. They've set it up so it feels like a little bit of a cult or a religion. But when you get past that, you realize it's a really serious project. I've also been really impressed by just the writing from the team in the Discord and in their Medium posts. So there's a real contrast. In their Medium posts, you can see where there's that real serious side of the project, and it's really well laid out, and I'll put some links to that. So in the Discord, like I said, there's that real fun around being part of that temple, being called to prayers, being, followers and things like that. But it's just really there to get that community feel and that community build, and to get people doing good things for the community so they can get on the whitelist. So as I said, this one, don't dismiss it from the silliness or the fun on the Discord. It's a serious project that I will certainly be keeping my eye on and looking to get involved in when I can. Another big thing is that people have talked about its connection or its similarities to OHM, which is a coin that has really done well. So that's where there's a lot of that buzz. Okay, so for the next few tokens, I'm going to go through them fairly quickly. And these are tokens that have been released but show real potential. They're not necessarily ones that I own, but I just think they're quite interesting. So the first one is Harmony, and they have their one token. What's good about this one is that it's one of those layer one protocols, so similar to Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche. So there's a lot of appeal because of that. It's also relatively low cap compared to a lot of those, which means it has more potential to really go up, but then obviously there's that riskier side because of that lower market cap, but it's one that's starting to get some traction. Okay, my next coin to talk about is Mana, which is the token for Decentraland. And if you haven't heard of Decentraland, then you've probably been under a rock. It's the biggest metaverse so far in the Ethereum network. And there's even been property or land, virtual land on there selling around the $1 million mark or up to the $1 million marks. And there's huge companies getting involved in there. It's actually a place where, if you've heard of rare pepes, which are really, I guess, in demand NFT, that's where the museum for those are. And other companies are already setting up virtual stores and virtual shops. So the token seems to me to be underpriced, and the market cap seems to be relatively low. I don't actually own any of it, but I'm certainly keeping my eye on it, because if Decentraland does take off, and it certainly looks like it will, then this token could go up in value. Okay, so the next one, leading on, sticking with the metaverse theme, is the Wilder World token. And this is that wild token. So Wilder World is a metaverse like Decentraland, but it's got a lot less traction, a lot, I guess, slower adoption so far. And that means that you can get in still relatively cheaply. So they've released cars, and they call their NFT assets 5D, which is a little bit funny. It's really just a 3D car that has sound effects. But they've also got the Wild token, which has been doing fairly well. And this is one that if you think, if you're looking for a metaverse to get into, this could be worth looking at. They've also got staking for the Wild token and a lot of really good ideas in their roadmap. And just graphically, it's a lot more advanced than Decentraland, but obviously it's still very much work in progress. So again, really small market cap, and still a long way to go, but it could be worth keeping your eye on. Okay, so the next token I've been watching is BPT, which is a Blackpool Finance. So Blackpool Finance is the first Dayo that focuses solely on NFT gaming projects. So think Axie Infinity, think Sorare, Cometh. It's very low market cap, so it's currently at 803 in its ranking in its market cap. So that means it's got a fair bit of growth. So if you think there's going to be growth in, I guess, gaming NFTs, which there certainly looks to be, then this could be one to keep an eye on. It's not currently listed on any exchanges. You can get it through Sushi Swap, and you can also actually do a swap and get it on the website. Again, I don't own this one, but I'm keeping my eye on it. I think it's got some potential. Okay, so the next token I'm looking at is Rweave, which is AR. And I'm just going to read a little bit about it. It says it's data storage blockchain. It's a data storage blockchain that creates truly permanent data for the first time. It's low cost and censorship free. So what I like about this one is that Solana are already using it as far as storing the storage. So the Solana blockchain is using it. So if you think Solana's going to go up, then there's a likelihood that AR will go up, and it's already seen some gains. It also solves the problem around NFT storage. So the actual picture of the JPEG or the data around the NFT, where that's stored. So being stored, I guess, in a decentralized location, that's what Rweave achieves. And again, it's relatively low cap. So this is another one I've been keeping my eye on. All right, the next pick is YGG, or Yield Guild Gaming. And this one's an NFT gaming guild that's seen some rapid growth. So it hasn't been out for long, the actual token, but it's grown very rapidly in the short period of time that it has been out. It's connected to some massive NFT gaming projects like Axie Infinity, and just recently, so a couple of days ago, they announced a partnership with Star Atlas, which is massive, and they've said that they've agreed to buy $1 million worth of Star Atlas NFT starships. So this one's certainly worth keeping an eye on. And of course, I can't have a video without mentioning the Riot Token, which is the token for our wonderful project Riot Races. So that's been released recently. The token was released at about 10 cents. It's currently at about 20 cents for its price. There's planning to have staking. It's super early on as far as the token goes, so it could be a good way to get in. There's also opportunities, obviously, being part of the Riot Races game and the Riot Races NFT assets. And this one is obviously I'm very much involved in. This whole YouTube channel is based around it. So this one I've already got Riot, and I'll be continuing to get more. So this is one of those simple ones where you look at good community, good team. It's certainly worth looking at that token. Okay, so now let's look at some old favorites and just talk about why they're favorites, why they're so popular. So the big one we can't go past, Bitcoin, and this is the OG of crypto tokens. And one of the main reasons to buy Bitcoin is to annoy those NFT guys on Twitter who just write Bitcoin off and call it for old guys. But Bitcoin is here to stay, and it's obviously, the OG. Okay, let's move on to Ethereum. So Ethereum is truly the digital currency of the internet, and it's certainly used more and more. And I see myself just buying Ethereum just because I need it for everything or most of the things I do with NFTs. And it's one of those things that it's just got so many use cases. And if Ethereum 2.0 can do many of the things it promises, then it's going to take off and be even more popular and solve a lot of those gas issues that we all struggle with so much. Okay, 3 and 4 are tied, so Solana and Terra Luna. So Solana is one of those layer 1 protocols. It's also blisteringly fast, low fees. You would have heard a lot about Solana, I'm sure. And it's already got massive traction in the NFT world. So it's got really big projects like Solana Monkey Business, DGen Apes. It's got Galactic Geckos, Aurora, Star Atlas, just to name a few massive projects, so gaming projects and just NFT projects that are already on that protocol. And I can see that Solana is only going to get stronger, so that's one that is really worth looking at for your portfolio. Okay, Luna. So think stablecoin, but it's decentralized, so it's less likely to be regulated, like something like USDT. It's also a layer 1 protocol, and there's a lot of work going on, or has currently been going on, to implement new ideas with that layer 1. There are really good staking opportunities and borrowing with Anchor to earn ANC token. And Do Kwon, who's the main guy with Luna, is just a badass as well. So that's worth really keeping your eye on. Okay, the next two are Cosmos with the Atom token and Avalanche with the AVAX token. Again, both layer 1 protocols. So these layer 1s are really big right now, and they're worth keeping an eye on and being involved in. So they both have staking opportunities through Osmosis and the Avalanche Rush incentive program that's currently running. And they're both starting to offer NFT platforms. So if you're wanting to get in early, these could be good opportunities to get in to NFTs on those platforms early. Okay, the next one is ThorChain with its Rune token. So ThorChain is a decentralized liquidity network that allows cross-chain token swaps. What I like about this one is it does something that no one else really does, and it seems undervalued for what it does and how unique it is in the market. And I suspect a lot of people will be sort of caught hanging when there's some good news comes out, or they start to make a little bit of progress and the price just moons. So this one's certainly worth keeping an eye on. Now, Enjin, or ENJ, is one that has a little bit of I have a soft spot for it because it did really well early on. And it's, again, involved in that NFT and gaming. It hasn't performed as well as some of the other coins recently, but it's still worth keeping an eye on, and this is one that I would sort of keep an eye on, but not a real hard recommend. All right, enough from me. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so these are just, having a bit of a chat about some coins I've been watching, why I like them, what interests me about them. So in part 2 of this video series, I'm going to be looking at NFT projects that I'm interested in. So some new ones coming out and some NFT projects that are currently out and that I also think look pretty interesting. So I'll see you then.